G'day boys and girls, it's time to test another multi-function power head video. We've got the 18 volt, the 36 volt or 18 by 2 and the 40 volt power heads here. And on the right we've got the attachment we're going to be testing in this video, which is the pole saw attachment. This is the EY403MP. It has a 300mm bar on it, or 12 inches. From what I can tell, the 401 and the 402, which are available in the States, have a 10 inch or 250mm bar on them. But different countries might have different bars, but in this part of the world, the 403 is a 300mm or 12 inch bar. The overall length of this attachment is around the 1200mm mark, or 4 feet, but the usable length is about 1130mm. And when attached to the power head, the overall length from the tip of the bar to your trigger finger is 1700mm. But you can get an extension pole for this thing, and I'll show you that later in the video. Taking a look at the business end here, it's an Oregon bar, it's 3/8. We've got a captive nut here. We have a screw in here for adjusting your chain. Flipping around to the other side, you can see the oil reservoir here for your chain oil. Nice little button there to flick up your lid, quite a flash little lid. And it is of course a captive lid. Quite nice. We've got a hook here for when you want to pull things down that are caught up on the top of a bloody tree, and a little rubber chip deflector. And that's about all there is to it. So I guess we'll go do some cutting and see how much difference there is with this on an 18 volt tool, an 18 by 2 and a 40 volt. .40 volt power head with the chainsaw attachment. Goodbye branches.
That little branch hook on there is absolutely...
And the stupid thing is, the petrol one doesn't have it. The far more expensive one. Yeah, just cut it in the middle. Well, to take that leaf off now, you've cut it.
I actually cut that loose.
Yeah, so you might as well cut it back then. Down lower. Yeah, down there. Good fun. I have a 5 amp hour battery on the 18 volt, a 5 amp hour battery on the 40 volt, and two 5 amp hour 18 volt batteries on the 36 volt. They are all of course freshly charged. I'm going to chuck the pole chainsaw attachment on. We are going to cut through some pine. Because it's awfully hard to get branches and trees to all be the same diameter and hard to cut on the same angle every single time to get a fair sort of feel on how these three power heads compare to each other with the pole saw attachment. Got a piece of pine here which equates to a 50mm by 50mm or 2 inch by 2 inch branch. I'm going to cut that, we'll whack through that a few times, see how they feel, see how quick they cut, and see how they compare. So how does the pole chainsaw attachment stack up with the 3 different power heads? Well, the 40 volt smashes it. I mean, obvious, 40 volt is much better. It's much better than the 36, the 18x2. A lot of people seem to think, well, they're going to be the same, they're the same voltage, but you know, technologies move on and blah blah blah. And yeah, the 40 volt one much better than the 18 volt and the 18x2. The 18 volt stalls a bit. It's doable if you take it easy. You can use it perfectly fine, but yeah, it is a bit slower. You can't push it as hard as you can the 40 volt. The attachment itself is much nicer to use than the Milwaukee, say, which I've also got. That is much rougher to use, and the chain keeps popping off all the time, and it's just a bit of a pig. But this thing still has its issues. My biggest annoyance with it is the fact that the oiler doesn't have any screw or anything for it. There's no way of controlling it. It's just on all the damn time. It's not too bad now that it's gunked up with shit, but if you've got oil in it and you don't store it like this, the oil pisses out of it. So if you've got it hanging up with the tip like this, the oil will drip out. If you've got it like this, the oil can drip out. So I learnt that the hard way. So you either need to empty out all the oil from this thing every time you use it, or you need to store it like that. And storing it like that is a pain. You know, I want to hang the thing up, you know, on a wall like that, but I can't if there's oil in it. If you want to do a couple of cuts in the garden, who wants to fill this thing up with oil and then have to take the oil back out of it again? It's just stupid. So yeah, they cheaped out on that, and that's the only thing I really have to complain about. It's nice that it's got the hook there, although a metal one would have been a bit better. Yeah, apart from that, yeah, it's a good little unit. There's no like bucking spikes or anything on the front, but you don't really need it with a pole saw. You need that extra length. There is of course the extension pole, which you will have seen in the video. If you want more information on that or this, take a look down in the description. There'll be the model numbers and the pricing in the links down there. And I guess that's about all there is to say for it. That's another power head attachment video done and dusted. We've still got quite a few to go. I've got the hedge trimmer, of course, still to come, some weed eaters. So many tools, so little time. But now that it's coming into summer here, I'll be able to get a few more of these knocked off, hopefully. I'll put a playlist up here in the corner for all the power head attachments I've done so far and the power head units themselves, and I'll put some links down in the description for those as well. And I'll see you all on another tool review shortly. No doubt, it'll probably be from Makita. Cheers guys, get out there and do some work.